me ask you something that might just change your life. Have you ever felt like the person you are and the life you're living don't quite match the vision burning inside of you? Like deep down, you know you're meant for more, but your current reality keeps telling you otherwise? If that's you, you're not alone. But here's the truth. You don't get the life you want by waiting. You create it by stepping into it before it's real. I'm here to share something that radically shifted my life and the lives of thousands I've coached, mentored, and witnessed transform right in front of me. It's a mindset, it's a practice, it's a power. It's called the act as if mindset. And it's not pretending, it's becoming. When you learn to act as if you're already that next level version of yourself, before the money, before the confidence, before the breakthrough, you collapse time. You rewire your brain. You change your energy. And reality starts to mirror your new identity. This isn't a speech about positive thinking. This is about becoming magnetic to your vision. So if you're ready to stop hoping and start embodying, if you're ready to wake up the power that's already inside you, and stay with me. Because what you're about to hear has the potential to reprogram your identity, ignite your confidence, and help you manifest anything with bold certainty you want to manifest something. Then you've got to understand one thing right now. You can't wait to become the person who has it. You have to be that person now. That's what the act as if mindset is all about. You don't wait to feel confident. You decide to be confident. You don't wait to feel worthy. You claim your worth. You don't sit around hoping success will one day find you. You step into the identity of someone who's already living it. That version of you, the one who has the business, the body, the love, the clarity, the peace, they're not separate from you. They're not in some far off future. They are you. Just a decision away. Just an identity shift away. And the moment you start thinking like them, moving like them, making choices like them, that's when the world starts to reflect it back to you. Listen, most people live backwards. They say, once I have the money, I'll feel secure. Once I get the relationship, I'll feel loved. Once I'm successful, I'll feel confident. But life doesn't work that way. It's not have do be. It's be do have. You become the person first. Then you take the actions that person would take. And only then do you attract the result. Think about it. If you woke up tomorrow as your highest self, how would you carry yourself? How would you speak to people? Would you apologize for your dreams? Would you procrastinate? Would you shrink to make others comfortable? Hell no. You'd move with purpose. You'd say what needs to be said. You'd take the shot even if it scared you. Power of this mindset is that it doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for validation. It's a decision you make in a moment, a standard you raise for yourself. And it's not about faking anything. It's about remembering who you really are under the doubt, the fear, the old story. You're not here to play small. You're not here to beg life to treat you better. You're here to declare who you are and then align your actions until reality has no choice but to catch up. So many people are walking around hoping for change, but they're showing up as the same version of themselves they were yesterday. And guess what? The same identity creates the same behavior. The same behavior creates the same results. If you want to change your results, change your identity. Live from the future you, not the past you. It starts with a choice right here, right now. Who are you ready to become? You want to know the secret to turning on confidence, certainty, and power at will? It's this. Emotion is a tool, one you can generate anytime you choose. Most people think confidence is something you either have or don't have. They think it's tied to results, tied to praise, tied to whether or not something is going well. That's backwards. Confidence isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. Let me tell you something powerful. Motion creates emotion. You can shift your emotional state in an instant by how you move your body, how you breathe, how you speak. You ever seen someone walk into a room and instantly change the energy? Not because of what they said, but because of how they carried themselves? That's not luck. That's not magic. That's control. That's a person who knows how to access power on command. And guess what? You can do it too. You want to feel bold? Start moving like someone who's bold. You want to feel unstoppable? Start breathing like someone who's already won. Your body is a trigger, a switch, a gateway. The way you use it tells your nervous system what to feel. Most people are slumped over, shallow breathing, heads down, constantly feeding their brain signals of fear or uncertainty. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. It's not a mystery, it's habit. But when you raise your chest, lift your head, breathe with strength, speak with intensity, your body starts telling your brain, I've got this, and your brain listens. Now combine that with a mindset of acting as if you're already the person who has what you want, and you become a force of nature, because it's not just about thinking differently, it's about feeling differently. Feeling changes your direction, feeling changes your momentum. If you ever try to achieve something while you're in a low emotional state, you hesitate, you second guess, you procrastinate. But when you're in a high energy state, a powerful state, you stop thinking and you start doing. You trust your instincts. You speak your truth. You show up fully. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional mastery. This is why generating emotion is non-negotiable. You don't wait to feel like it. You become it. You don't hope for a good mood to find you. You create the mood you need to move forward. And that's where real momentum begins. When your inner world becomes more powerful than the outside noise. You got to practice this daily. Get into state, command your energy, step into that emotional power like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Emotion is what makes you magnetic. It's what amplifies your action. It's what turns the act as if mindset into something real, something tangible, something that moves people and pulls results to you like gravity. Don't wait for confidence generated. You can't act like your future self if you don't know who that is. That's where most people get stuck. They hear things like act as if, and they're willing, they're excited, they're ready, but they have no clarity. They're showing up every day trying to tap into a version of themselves they haven't even defined. You can't step into a shadow. You need a vivid, detailed vision of who you are becoming, so clear that you can feel it in your bones. Clarity is power. Without it, you're just reacting to life. You wake up and drift, you hope something good happens, but when you have clarity, you drive your life. You start making decisions from a place of purpose instead of fear. You stop asking for permission and start creating your own momentum. You walk differently, you talk differently, and people feel it. So who is that future version of you? Not just what do they have, but how do they show up? How do they think? How do they handle stress? How do they treat their body, their time, their relationships? Get obsessed with the details. What's their morning routine like? What's their posture when they walk into a room? How do they speak when they're pitching that idea, when they're setting a boundary, when they're leading a conversation? This isn't just visualization, it's identity creation. Because when your mind has a clear target, your actions start to line up. Without that clarity, your nervous system defaults to old patterns. But when you define the next level version of yourself with precision, your body, your brain, your decisions, everything starts working to support that new identity. So many people say they want to change, but they're vague. I want to be more successful. I want to feel confident. That's not enough. You need to paint it in full color. Be specific, be detailed. Don't just write a goal. Design a persona. That's what this is about. This is about crafting the blueprint for who you're becoming and then living into it moment by moment. Here's what's wild. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined reality and a current one. When you rehearse the future version of yourself with clarity and emotion, your brain starts wiring that identity as if it's already true. That's how you start pulling that future into the present. You're conditioning your nervous system to expect it, believe it, and eventually create it. If you want to make the act as if mindset real, start by answering this. Who am I when I'm fully aligned with my potential? And then build your days around that answer. Every action, every conversation, every decision, ask yourself, does this align with who I'm becoming? If the answer is no, cut it. If it's yes, go all in. You can't hit a target you can't see, so make it real. Words are powerful. The words you speak to others, sure, but even more powerful are the ones you speak to yourself when nobody's listening. Your internal dialogue is either building the identity you want or reinforcing the one you're trying to grow out of. If you're acting as if, but still telling yourself stories like, I'm not ready, I hope this works, or maybe I'll get there someday, then guess what? You're dragging your past into your future. You can't talk like the old you and expect to live like the new you. The language you use isn't just communication, it's creation. Every word reinforces a belief. Every sentence you say to yourself is either anchoring your limitations or activating your potential. That's why people can do all the external stuff. They can dress the part, talk to the right people, even build momentum. But if their inner dialogue is still rooted in fear, doubt, or guilt, eventually they'll sabotage it all because their words are out of alignment with their identity. And alignment is everything. You've got to train yourself to speak from the place you want to be, not from where you are. That means removing weak language from your vocabulary. Get rid of I hope, I wish, I'm trying. That's language of uncertainty. That's hesitation. Replace it with I am, I choose, it's done. Speak from power. Speak from conviction. When you talk like someone who already owns the result, you start acting like, and when your actions shift, everything else begins to shift with it. Now, this isn't just about affirmations and saying nice things in the mirror. This is about alignment, real alignment. It's about catching those subtle, automatic phrases you say out of habit and replacing them with the language of your future self. Every time you say, I'm bad with money, your subconscious locks that identity in place. Every time you say, I never follow through, you're confirming the old story. But when you say, I'm learning to master my finances, or I'm someone who finishes what I start, you're creating new neural pathways. You're giving your mind a new map to follow. And the more you repeat it, the more real it becomes. Because repetition is how the brain learns. The first time it feels like a lie. The second time it feels awkward. But keep going, eventually it becomes familiar. And once it's familiar, it becomes believable. That's how identity shifts, through repetition of aligned language until it becomes your default. So here's the real question. If someone recorded everything you said to yourself today, would it sound like someone who's stepping into greatness or someone who's settling for survival? You want to act as if, start by speaking as if. Every sentence you say is either programming power or planting doubt. Choose your words like your future depends on them. Because it does. This is the part where most people hesitate. They say they believe, they say they want it, but when it comes time to act with certainty before the evidence shows up, they flinch. They wait for proof. They wait for permission. They wait until it's safe. And that hesitation, that moment of doubt, that's where the future dies. Because if you're only confident when things are working out, that's not confidence, that's reaction, that's dependency. It's fragile. What real power looks like is this: moving forward with certainty when you have every reason to doubt, making the decision when the outcome isn't guaranteed, showing up like it's already done, even when nothing outside of you has changed yet. That's what makes you magnetic. That's the energy that moves mountains. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And when you carry certainty, the world starts to reflect it back to you. Now, I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm not talking about pretending. I'm talking about a deep grounded belief that no matter what happens, you'll adapt, you'll rise, you'll grow, and you'll figure it out. That's real certainty. It's not tied to outcomes. It's tied to identity. It's the belief that you are the kind of person who creates the result, not the one who waits for it. People ask, but what if I fail? And I say, so what? Failure isn't final. It's feedback. It's data. The only real failure is waiting your whole life to feel ready. The truth is, no one ever feels completely ready. Ready is a choice. Certainty is a state you generate. not a feeling you wait for. You've got to learn how to stand in the fire without flinching. When the doubts come up, and they will, you remind yourself who you've decided to be. When the world tells you no, you say, watch me. When there's no guarantee, you trust in your ability to respond, because that's a foundation of all transformation. The belief that you can handle whatever life throws at you, that no matter what's happening outside of you, you're bigger than it. And here's what happens when you live this way. People notice. They feel your energy shift. Opportunities show up. Doors open. Not because you waited, but because you walked like it was already yours. That's how leaders are made. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how vision becomes reality. You can't tiptoe into your future. You can't whisper your way to greatness. Some point you've got to step in and own it before the results, before the applause, before the certainty shows up on the outside. You create it within you first. And when you do, you don't just change your life, you set a new standard for what's possible. Here's the final truth you need to understand. This mindset isn't something you try once and check off a list. It's not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Repetition is the mother of mastery. What you do consistently is who you become. This is about conditioning, training, reinforcing the identity, the energy, the behaviors of your future self until it becomes second nature. Because here's what happens. You can leave a powerful seminar, read an inspiring book, or even make a bold decision and feel incredible for a moment. But if you don't embed that new standard into your body and your habits, your old identity creeps back in. The doubt, the hesitation, the fear. They're patient. They wait for you to get tired, distracted, overwhelmed. And unless you've conditioned the new you to be stronger than the old story, you'll default to who you used to be. You've got to train it every single day. You don't go to the gym once and expect to stay in shape forever. You don't speak with certainty one time and expect the world to change. This is about showing up daily and reinforcing your new identity with action, with language, with emotion, with intensity. Until your nervous system knows it's real, you want the act as if mindset to work for you, then you need rituals. You need habits that remind you of who you are becoming. That might be visualizing your future self every morning. It might be writing down your goals as if they're already done. It might be standing tall, breathing deep, and commanding your emotional state before a single decision gets made. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. And don't underestimate the small wins. Every time you speak like the new you, that's a rep. Every time you take action from courage, not comfort, that's a rep. Every time you choose discipline over doubt, belief over fear, vision over distraction, you're conditioning greatness. You're burning the old story to the ground and replacing it with a new standard. Some days it'll feel powerful, other days it'll feel like a struggle, but the point isn't perfection. The point is persistence. Because consistency rewires the brain. It reprograms the nervous system. It turns hope into expectation and expectation into identity. And when something becomes your identity, it becomes effortless. You no longer have to push yourself to act that way. It becomes who you are. That's the final unlock. Not to act as if once, but to live as if until there's no separation between who you're pretending to be and who you've become. Until it's no longer an act, it's just your new reality. Build the identity, train the behavior, repeat it with intention until the future version of you isn't a goal anymore, it's your default.